Welcome back to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the invisible logic that actually runs our modern world. We're talking about taking abstract control systems and turning them into the very real, tangible concepts we rely on every single day. Let's get into it. So let's just start by asking the most fundamental question here. How exactly do modern electrical systems measure their own performance and continuously correct themselves in real time? Seriously, think about it for a second. Machines don't just run blindly anymore, right? They actually know how to fix their own mistakes on the fly. To figure out how they do that, we're going to break this down into 5 quick parts. First, open versus closed loop systems. Then we'll introduce the PID controller, break down its mathematical terms, look at real-world tuning, and finally wrap up with the digital control revolution. All right, section 1, open versus closed loop. Let's cover the absolute basics of machine behavior. You know, a really classic way to look at this is just comparing a standard toaster to a thermostat. An open-loop system, like your toaster, is pretty much flying blind. It applies heat for a preset time and just hopes for the best. It never actually checks if the toast is burning. But a closed-loop system, that means the output is fed back into the system to actively change future behavior. It's exactly like your thermostat, constantly measuring the actual room temperature so it knows exactly when to kick the heat on or off. Which brings us right to section 2. Enter the PID controller. This is the absolute industry standard for these closed-loop systems. Now, before any system can fix itself, it obviously needs a target. In engineering, we call this the set point. Whether it's the exact temperature you want your living room to sit at, or the precise altitude a drone needs to hover at, a control system is continuously comparing its actual, measured output against this perfect, desired target. And well, when the actual output inevitably misses that set point, we get what's called the error signal. This right here is the vital piece of data the controller needs. It's the trigger. It's simply the measurable gap between where the system is right this second and where you actually need it to be. So the entire purpose of the controller is to take that error signal and just continuously work to eliminate it entirely. It constantly tweaks and adjusts the system with one singular obsessive mission in life, and that is to drive the error toward zero. Okay, section 3, PID terms. Let's look at the math and actually break down this controller's brain into its 3 distinct parts. This, by the way, is exactly where the PID acronym comes from. I like to think of these 3 mathematical terms as kind of working across time, almost like a little superhero team. Proportional lives totally in the present. It responds immediately to current errors, giving a correction that's directly proportional to how far off the system is right now. Integral, on the other hand, remembers the past. It accumulates error over time to fix any of those persistent, annoying little offsets that the proportional term just can't quite shake on its own. And then derivative is always looking to the future. It analyzes how fast the error is changing to anticipate and dampen any potential overshoot. And honestly, combining these 3 terms is the ultimate solution. It allows a control system to respond incredibly fast without overreacting or getting stuck with a persistent error. It's this beautifully balanced calculation that guarantees smooth, predictable, and highly accurate performance across some seriously complex systems. Moving right along to section 4, tuning and applications. This is where PID meets the real world because, having the math on paper is one thing, but making it work physically requires absolute harmony. If a PID controller is poorly tuned, it's going to respond way too slowly, or it'll repeatedly overshoot its target, or worst case, you get dangerous, wild oscillations. Just imagine a massive robotic arm swinging frantically back and forth because the proportional response is way too aggressive and the derivative term isn't properly anticipating the motion to slow it down. Not good. But when they are properly tuned, these systems safely manage the ultra-precise joints of robots, they regulate the voltage in battery chargers, maintain exact rotational speeds in heavy industrial motors, and literally keep the lights on by regulating our massive power grids at exactly 50 or 60 hertz. So understanding control systems is an absolute necessity across pretty much every single electrical engineering discipline. All right, finally, section 5, digital control. Let's look at what lies beyond traditional PID loops and how modern software is completely radicalizing this landscape. So modern microcontrollers have largely replaced those rigid, older analog circuits, which makes today's control systems infinitely more flexible and precise. Historically, these controllers had to be built with physical electronic components, capacitors, resistors, the whole shebang. But today, digital signal processors run most PID loops directly in software. This makes them vastly easier to reconfigure or upgrade, and you never even have to touch a soldering iron. This digital shift is huge because it allows for adaptive elements. The system can literally tune itself on the fly. This paves the way for advanced techniques like state-space control and model predictive control. These modern digital systems can actually automatically adjust their own tuning parameters in real time as the operating conditions change around them. They easily handle complex, dynamic environments that would have, without a doubt, completely overwhelmed the older analog designs. So, we've seen exactly how machines correct their own mistakes in this explainer, but I really want to leave you with a thought for next time. Now that our systems can control themselves, how do they protect themselves from catastrophic faults? What actually happens when an unpredictable electrical surge threatens to completely fry these finely tuned digital brains? Definitely think about that, because in our next explainer, we are going to dive into exactly how electrical systems protect themselves using relays, breakers, and grounding. See you then.